Because Apple is all, what was it? Apple introduced the the swiping text, like
Swipe?
I just saw a meme.
It's similar to Swipe.
Yeah,
but it's brand new.
brand new.
Revolutionary.
Changing
Because
everything.
Apple
Brand
put
new.
it out last month.
I can see the negative comments from here.
No, it's Apple. Fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, I went to school for graphic design, and I still say fuck Apple.
So is the stand made of solid titanium
Hold
or something that
hold
would?
on. I'm getting past the history of Steve Jobs' tragic death, $160 AirPods, blah blah.
What about a fucking monitor stand could cost $1,000? What? No, it's
It cost $1,000, and even Mac fans are pissed.
I was pissed when the Apple Pencil came out.
The new Mac Pro won't be available to buy for several months, but ever since announcing the new workstation desktop and accompanying Pro Display XDR monitor, people are up in arms about the objects. Blah 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 blah. Beauty and metal construction and design is a good part style engineering.
so it's a fucking monitor stand. Look, hey, you know what? Here's the thing. If you're buying a Mac, you deserve to spend $1,000.
Apple Pro Display XDR is a monitor made.
Even their newest laptops don't have the newest 8,000 or 9,000 series Intels, and yet you're paying $3,000 or $4,000. The hard drive is soldered.
Yeah,
I believe it is still soldered to the board, so if the hard drive or SSD burns out, you have to send it in for repair, and if it's not under warranty...
Right to repair anyone?
No, Apple
is
opposed to repairing products. They
despite whatever parent legislation goes through, they just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen right to repair, laws being passed, and Apple doesn't give a fuck. They're just you're back to product as a service. It's their hardware. You're just leasing it, so to speak.
Well, that's like the new version of I don't know if we talked about this before, but it was the older versions of Photoshop.
Yeah,
you could get in serious trouble for allegedly using the older versions.
Well,
which no one's going to follow that rule.
No, it was the I don't inherently mind the new Adobe Creative Cloud platform and the way that works. It's spending, whatever it is, $10 a month for a legal up-to-date copy of Photoshop. Fine. That's fine. I don't mind that. Because the alternative,
$800.
$8, $9, $1,600 for, what was it?
Creative Suite.
CS1, I think, was like $1,600 for just Photoshop CS1. And,
If you want the monitor without the stand, you have to buy the $200 mount adapter.
And it's made from the... Never mind.
Yeah. So I don't, because if I look at it from Adobe's standpoint and I go, okay, so it's, $10 a month. So yeah, over the course of a year, I'm still paying a sizable amount for this, but I'm getting constant updates.
I mean, I'm down with it. I only use Photoshop.
But by the same token, versus having a, program that you sell for $1,600, and then 2/3 of the world just pirates it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, whereas, that I go, okay, well, I don't really like product as a service models, but I'm willing to accept them if they're reasonably priced, right? I think the real challenge with the Creative Cloud thing is, okay, well, I've paid this $10 a month for 3 freaking years. I've given you almost $4,000, and I switch cards or whatever, and now my automatic payment didn't go through, and now I can't use Photoshop. Wait, I'm giving you $4,000 for the $1,600 program. Yeah,
But when
that's where I get like,
they will.
So
I just recently had my payment. Didn't have enough money in my account, so the auto payment didn't go through. When I paid it 3 days later, they took off those 3 days I couldn't use it in payment. So if you cannot, they prorate it if you can't use the product until you pay again. So you're not. So my next payment was like $6 because it's only 3 days. But it was they still refunded me that $6 or $12. So that was pretty cool.
So that's where I go. When you make it reasonable, I'm willing to accept unreasonable shit for a reasonable amount of money. But when you give me unreasonable shit for an unreasonable amount of money, $5,000 for a monitor, another $1,000 for the stand,
and
or $200 to not have this, to just not have it laying flat on a table. Like, why, how do you fucking sell a monitor that doesn't have an ability to stand up at all? Like, how is that even a fucking thing?
Especially when your competitors can give the same product or same quality product for a fraction of the price.
What size is the monitor?
I closed the article.
I don't care. It can't stand up on its own or be mounted.
You just prop it up against the floor.
Yeah. You just kind of lean it on some shit and, So, alright. For $1,000 from Apple, you get a stand to put your monitor on. No 5K, no screen, no color gamut. It's just a stand. MSI, for $1,300, is a 34-inch 5K Nano ISP 600 HDR 600 certified DCI P3 color gamut and includes stand.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got another weird useless tech. Wireless USB flash drives.
What?
So imagine a flash drive, but it's got a 800 milliamp battery in it. But you can only use the wireless part if you put the cap on the flash drive. If you lose the cap, you lose the wireless ability.
I mean...
So what the hell does the cap do? Does it create a closed circuit? It says, okay, you can turn on now.
Like, that...
SanDisk sells one on Amazon from, 32 gigs to 200. And my friend bought me the 128 gig one. I'm like, oh, it's a flash drive. Who cares? And he goes, no, it's a wireless USB flash drive.
I mean, I can see how that's
so you
handy.
download the SanDisk app, and up to 3 users at a time can
connect to it.
The problem is when one person grabs a 4K video, it kicks the other two off.
Mm. Well, that's...
No pop-up window. Just nope, go away.
Maybe.
And it takes 6 hours.
The concept is really cool because then you can work on like group projects at school and whatnot or
right.
work.
Right. Like there's a PowerPoint.
And the flash drive is just, on one of the team's keys or whatever.
So,
But it's
like you're somewhere in the world with a laptop that has a wireless connection, but you can't use Google Docs. Because
it creates a backup. It creates a secondary backup, and
I'm just saying, like, this sounds like an amazing piece of technology that there is literally, like, the only case use for it is the most ridiculously contrived scenario possible.
Well, I know.
And then it doesn't even meet the criteria that it's supposed to fulfill.
If we were to just hit Control A, then hit Delete, and hit Control S. Does that mean it would replicate to everyone that's in the said document and piss everybody off? I'm not sure.
There's a special kind of hell just for having that thought.
What's the 11th
like
layer?
Someone gets unauthorized access and everyone's like, we're just finishing this project, and everyone goes, doop, and the temp file's gone.
I hate you.
You would hear the sirens from your house.
Yeah.
That I don't think we've ever actually met, really, but I hate you. It's bad enough when you do it to yourself.
Why would you do it to yourself? That's just cruel.
Not purposefully, but when you've been working for an hour, you realize you haven't saved and you've been working on the wrong layer.
Oh, it's a special kind of pain.
So anyway, on that flash drive, there's no security.
Oh, that's...
So it's just an open wireless flash.
But you have to have the app. You can't use like a third-party FTP. It has to be the SanDisk app. Now, later they did add it, but it's not a default option, the way to put a WEP key on there. Not WPA, or 2, or 3, WEP. So it's a type of encryption that uses to protect your Wi-Fi network, and WEP is not secure.
Yeah. Like,
but okay, you're it's not going to be on all the time, but still, there's easier ways to share a file.
Think of it as being the security equivalent of just like a Post-it note that says "Please don't." That's what.
Oh, so you mean how I lock my door?
While leaving the windows down.
Well, that's...
With the keys in the ignition.
I had a Camry. I understand.
So you stick a flathead in the ignition and off you go?
Actually, I had an 80s Camry.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
It got stolen twice.
So, yeah, I had a
And then it died.
roommate whose car got stolen out of our apartment. That was awesome. So it had been snowing. He comes down, finds his car. You can see the tracks in this when they pulled out of his parking space, and he goes. He's like just freaking out, and he just kind of just runs, and he runs around our building and up, and like they hadn't even made it out of the parking lot before they just fucking just got out and left it, and it was still sitting there, keys in it, running. He's got a 3 on the tree transmission, so. Once they backed out and went around and then realized they had no idea how to shift into second gear.
They're like, bail out. This is
fucking I'm
Done.
Yeah.
Best effort.
I mean, I never had my keys in the Camry. It's just the Camry, so it's... But then again, Mets could unlock my... It wasn't the Camry, it was... No, I think it was just my Focus that I have now. With his old car.
Yeah.
The old vehicle. He could unlock my door, but the ignition didn't work with his keys. Whose old car.
People lock their keys in a car that are unlocked with a chopstick.
Space Force.
to the monitor so that you can use generic stands.
Oh, a Vesa. Oh my god.
Yeah.
$200 for the adapter to let you use
$250
after
Before
tax.
sales tax. Oh my God, no.
for the adapter, or $1,000 for the stand.
Only Apple.
I'm like, how is that even a thing? Like, there surely would be a secondary market, right?
It's all graphic designers.